Hey babes, I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Beverly. Grab your favorite drink. Let's sip and chat.
Welcome to Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is another episode of Tipsy and Truthful, the podcast where two best friends sip and chat about life, relationships, parenthood, and everything in between. And we are already really drunk. This is part 2 to our episode.
Hey, what's up? We still here.
We still lit.
We had to make it a part 2.
We had to make it a part 2. We ended up talking about more stuff than we thought we would. I'm not complaining. Are you complaining?
I'm not complaining.
Okay, good.
You didn't have a choice.
This is
I want to go home.
we're not letting you go. You're stuck here, bro. I'm sorry. Nobody told you to agree to this, okay? So we are starting our guest episode again with another shot. We need our producer's hand up in here, okay? And this is to another good show. Ready? Pa arriba, nice cup. Pa abajo, pa el centro, pa adentro.
Refreshing.
Let me tell you guys, it's a good thing we record from home. I'm definitely crawling up these stairs later. And if these kids cry in the middle of the night, I don't know who's going to take care of them.
Fuck them kids.
It's not me.
What?
John, I hope you get home early because, let me tell you.
With energy.
My man's working. When he gets home, he's going to be tired and I'm going to be like, quítese esa bota y atienda a un muchacho que yo te borracha.
Yeah, atiendas a un muchacho.
Okay, so I want to jump right into our next segment. We talked so much about who you are, your life experiences, what has formed you to be who you are today.
Yeah.
Love all of it. We want to unpack.
Just to make sure you guys know, you guys have known everything I've never shared. Like, these are like la primicia, like, este el vaina, la exclusiva.
Wow.
Period.
Exclusive, like.
There you go. So yeah, Kenny, we have a segment that's called Let's Unpack, which is basically where we go deeper into a specific subject that we want to talk about. And today we want to talk about machismo, and especially in Hispanic culture, Hispanic Latin culture, okay?
Yep.
I want to start by defining it. So I found, and full transparency, this is a Google definition, so don't get at me, okay?
Definition.
Yes. So machismo comes from the assertion of male dominance in everyday life. Examples are dominating their wives, controlling their children, and demanding the utmost respect from others. Traits include dominance, aggression, sexism, sexual powerness, and reserved emotions. That's like a big one, the reserved emotions.
The reserves, yeah.
This is not to be confused with masculinity. Machismo and masculinity are separate things, okay, guys?
Because to me, masculinity is more positive. Machismo
It's a good thing.
Is not.
A man who knows what his masculine power is, chef's kiss, okay? Machismo, whole other thing. So, Kenny, do you think machismo is present today?
Of course. It's a never-ending cycle, to be honest, unfortunately. It's less than it used to be, but it still goes on nowadays, and a lot of people's families, a lot of mothers are still raising their kids because that's how they knew, that's how men are, so they raise their kids to be that way, unfortunately.
Like their sons get a certain treatment and their daughters would get a different one?
Yeah, that'll always happen. Not in my household, but yeah, I'm not gonna mention family members, but there's people within the family that los tigres no hacen nada. They don't wash their own clothes. They don't do dishes. They don't set their own doctor's appointment, bro. Like, it's really how you're raised, to be honest.
But can I
if
interject?
the mothers don't break that cycle.
Do you think that it's, and this is just me, playing a double-edged sword. But,
devil's advocate.
Yeah.
We don't say that.
Yeah, I don't play with the devil. I'm like a double-edged sword. But do you think it's because, I'm just thinking of you as a millennial you were born here, correct?
Correct.
Right? So I feel like when you're born here and raised here, the expectations sometimes are a little bit different. Not always, but I'm saying you will see that more, the machismo, a lot more traditionally when people are coming from other countries. No? Do you agree or not?
Is it other countries or is it Latin?
So I could
That's what I mean.
tell you for a fact, the person and the family members that I'm talking about, that I'm saying that I'm not gonna mention, were raised in DR.
See?
I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that in my life, if I can
Yeah.
think of the people that fall into that category, they were all raised and
Born and raised
in like in Dominican Republic for us because we're Dominican.
Yeah.
But this happens. Like I have friends who are from Mexico. I have friends who are Puerto Rican, and this I see it across all Latin America, pretty much.
Yeah.
So the way, especially in New York, is that people have broken that cycle, I feel, because some parents don't mean to it. They still try to, do everything like my mom. My mom still raised me where my mom did everything. My mom, like I told you, worked 50 hours a week, and she'll still get home and cook and clean. But my mom also, since the age of 5, me buscó un banquito para yo comenzar a enjuagar los platos con ella cuando yo ya esté fregando. Come, help mommy do the dishes. Help mommy, rinse them out, put them away. She always, started giving me responsibilities and showing me that it's not just her job, even though she didn't have my stepdad help her. So she's like, she never expressed it. She never directly told me, you as a man, you need to do this, you need to do the other. My mom always just raised me with, tú tienes que ayudar a mami. You need to help your mom.
Do you think that subconsciously she was telling you, like in poca palabra, like your dad should be helping me too? I mean, your stepdad, sorry.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Sí,
of course.
usa la palabra.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's obviously, it got to the stage where I realized myself, what was going on. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, like, my mom would always, me and my brother, we like, as every Dominican, a lot of Latino parents, weekends are para limpiar, los sábados para limpiar.
Con Ana
and stuff like
Gabriela
that. So, yeah, so my mom was, that type, be like, she'll come into the room, she's like, levántese, ¿quién va a barrer y a trapear? ¿Quién va a limpiar el baño? She'd be like that. So, we used to get mad. And mommy's like, oh, you guys have to help me. You guys need to, you do this, we do this every week. Or, every other week where you guys help me out and we clean. So what's the problem? So we got to the point where we're like, Ma, listen, we need time to process the fact that you're going to wake me up tomorrow and I need to clean.
Yeah.
So communicate that with me. So, that was part of the parenting where you do whatever I say when I say it, no questions asked. So, we also helped her understand, like, we got feelings, bro. Like,
was she open to
we're
that?
kids. We got stuff we want to do. We don't mind helping you out, but like, let us decide. Like, okay, let us process the fact that we're doing this. But yeah, we were raised that way. We were raised to do our own laundry. I started doing laundry when I was like, mommy started teaching me how to use la máquina de lavar in DR when I was like 13. I moved back when I was 17. So
you spent
I
a
moved
big
back
chunk
a
of your
week
life
before
in DR.
2017. So I left when I was 6 to Puerto Rico. I turned 7 in I didn't even get to turn 7 in Puerto Rico. I turned 7 in DR and I turned 17 here. So yo duré literalmente 10 años.
Wow.
Those are like your
DR.
most formative years. We can say you were raised in DR. You weren't really raised here.
Literally, that's what I say. I grew up in DR.
Yeah,
That's what I
crazy.
always say. Yeah, so
That
in
messes up
DR,
our
mami
theory,
no ponía. Yeah, because I'd be like, yo, ma, yo no tengo ropa limpia. She'd be like, ustedes ya están de la edad donde you could wash your own clothes. So she taught us how to use the machine, but it's always something where, you just put the clothes with the other ones ahí, te queda callado para que no te digan, ven a lavar. But once we moved here, she's like, okay, you're going to work, you're going to school, you got a lot of clothes, like, you got to do your own stuff. So by the time I was 17, I was doing my own laundry. Yeah, mami no me ayudaba.
Do you think that would have been the same if you had a sister? Because you had mentioned in
Living
the
with
last
you.
episode that you
Sister
had
living with you.
two,
I don't.
you and your brother lived, like, or maybe a third brother, I think you said, lived in the same house.
I. My mom was raised with. Um. She was basically an only child. For a long time. Her sister was born many years later. My aunt is, I think, like 12 years younger than mommy. So yeah, mommy estaba grande by the time she had a sibling. So she grew up with her cousins, and her cousins, boys and girls, had to do stuff.
Mm.
So it's also her upbringing. Her upbringing was also, what influenced her to make sure that her kids
Yeah.
were raised that way too. Pero ella,
Good for
I
her.
think if we would have had if I would have had a sister,
Mm-hmm.
um, she would have definitely been probably harder on
On
her.
her? You think so?
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's
I think so. I think so.
I don't
Uh,
have. I only have one, right? But my
What?
biggest thing is I'm
Or
teaching.
one child?
Yeah, one child,
Okay.
right? But I'm teaching him to be. I want him to be efficient for himself, not because
yeah,
of a partner, not because it's because that's what you need to do to survive in life in general.
and
And
you said he's 6?
he's 6, but he makes his
Okay.
bed with me in the morning. Like we don't leave our house without doing our beds. Um,
Mhm.
if I'm cooking and I have time and I'm not stressed, he's helping me maja ajo in the kitchen.
There
When we
you
go to
go.
the laundromat, he's helping me put in the clothes and washing.
There you
And it's important for me to instill that in him for himself because he needs to have that for survival.
That's the thing.
In
These are
gen-
supposed to be humans, not
it,
for
it has
females
nothing to
or
do
males.
with men, like boys or girls.
Yeah.
It has to do with you being an efficient human being.
Yeah.
And I feel like people forget that. I know que un muchacho, tú eres la hembra, tú lo haces.
Yeah.
No. Porque si él se ve
Yeah,
solo,
so
he needs to defend himself. Él tiene que saber how to take care
correct.
of himself. And I feel like that's
That
where,
was my mom's mentality.
but that's where I
That's the
feel like a
thing.
lot of people lack. Like a lot of the older
Yeah.
generation, like, oh, no, there's always going to be a woman to do that for you. And that's why this
Yeah.
topic is so sensitive.
Yeah.
Because I hate it.
I hate it too.
I mean, I'm breaking
Yeah.
down. Listen. My husband was born and raised in DR, and let me tell you, we've been together 9 years, going on 10, and we're still getting there. Is what I'm trying to say, because I'm just like, there's still things I have to like put my foot down. I'm like, I'm not doing that because I am your spouse. I
Yeah.
am not your mom.
Yeah. It's a fine
Yeah.
line. Like,
Yeah.
yes, we're partners and yes,
Yeah.
we help each other, but like, you're also your own person.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, some people don't even make their own doctor's appointment. Like, bruh, tú estás en serio, loco?
Yeah.
Make your own
Exactly.
dentist and doctor's appointments. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Um,
I suck with the doctor's appointments. I'm not gonna lie, but not because I don't know how to make them. It's because
You forget.
si es por me, I'm that type of Dominican that I won't go to the doctor.
and
I
it's
get
fine.
that.
You know why?
I'm-
Because it
I
sounds like
I have that problem.
our last episode, you said that you wake up your son a certain way. That lets me know that you're waking up your son, right? So I
Yeah.
believe in a partnership, right?
I was just, well, babe.
You and your fiance have
Here.
certain roles, right?
Yeah.
So she makes your doctor's appointments, and that's cool because you wake up your son every morning and you put his little binoculars on so he can get out of bed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's exactly
It's about a balance.
a balance.
It's not
So
about her
with,
parenting you.
Yes, yes. That's and I saw that in the video that I did about Latinas. A lot of women kept saying, "Oh, men think they want to date their mom.
We
Like
had an
they have
episode
that
on that.
mentality where like la mujer tiene que ser como mi mamá." And I get it. I completely understand because you don't know any better. And it goes back to what I said in the last episode where you have people that don't know any better and people that see the difference and say, "Okay, I don't want to do that."
Mhm.
When you see your mom struggle,
Yeah.
work, come home and cook and clean. My mom would go to sleep. She worked overnight, as I said in the other episode. And my stepdad will get home from work 5:30, 6 o'clock, and he'll wake her up para calentarle la comida.
Bro.
Mind you, my mom had to wake up at 7 7:30 to go to work. So he would wake her up earlier. Mind you, my mom llegó a la casa a las 8 de la mañana,
Ay, mi madre.
sometimes 9, depending, because she was a server, so you finish your shift at 7, but there's still tables at 6:50. People eating. You gotta wait till they close out, wait till they for the tip out and everything, to then go home, and to get home and cook and leave all the food ready for everybody to then be able to go to sleep. Y para llegar y levantarla así, like I would always remember that day. I was probably like 19 or 20 the first time that I realized, like, like, why the fuck are you waking her up? I'm like, the food is ready, bro, just caliéntala.
And you had a microwave at home or no?
Yes, of course. Y una estufa y toda la vaina. The thing is, as a man, I get it. Because, again, he was raised where you get home, your woman makes your plate. There's something, I can't explain it. There's something about your wife making your plate for you that makes the food taste so much better.
I get it.
And I get it. But the thing is, you could have that on the weekend. You could have that on Wednesdays, which is her day off.
Yeah.
So it's the consideration of, she's tired. And she already cooked for me. So that should already make my food taste better.
Yeah.
Yes.
The sacrifice.
So, exactly. So, yo le dije, I'm like, yo le dije, tú eres un bárbaro, loco. Así mismo se lo dije. And I was raised with, like, you don't disrespect, your parents. So, me saying that was like, reason para darme una pecozona. I'm like, loco, tú eres un bárbaro. Así mismo, ¿para qué tú la vas a para calentar la maldita? Dímelo a mí, yo te la caliento. Si es el problema. Si tú no sabes usar un maldito microondas. And it really aggravated me.
In a different level.
Of course. And she would wake up. And she was getting up and I pushed her back in bed.
That our husband's needs come before ours. Like, your husband needs to eat, that comes before your need to sleep, girl.
And not only that, but yeah, te lo inculcan donde ya to you is just second nature. Like, okay, this is normal.
This is
no
how
problem.
It's supposed to be.
And that's why we had an episode on boundaries and how uncomfortable it is to put your foot down and to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore because it's affecting me. For me to be better for the rest of the world.
Right.
If I'm not whole and I'm not okay mentally, emotionally, how can I continue to serve if I'm not okay? And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Like,
I'm not available for that.
I'm not available for that.
Caliente su propia comida, mi hermano.
And,
come on.
It's taken, we talk about it like, it's hard for us because, once again, we're first generation. So we were raised to be very traditional.
To be just like that. To be like, tú estás cansado.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Marido, eso no importa. Tu cansancio viene de último.
And I still check my mom. Like, my mom is here visiting for the day. She's like, ay, yo hice esto. ¿Tú se la quieres calentar? Mira, él la puede calentar. Because I just walked through the door. That's not what I'm here for. And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And putting your foot down and being like, listen, right now, I don't have to do that. Because he's able to do that on his own. Is even uncomfortable. Like, my mom looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, she's like, but that's your husband. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit.
Tampoco así. I don't give a shit.
But at that moment, that's not what's important is what I'm saying. Is there's no need.
Yeah.
And, like, he understands that now. Like, he doesn't press me, but I know people that struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
my fiance and I, we have that understanding where she knows I like it cuando ella me sirve la comida. I love it cuando ella me sirve la comida. Que, tú sabes, a veces me sirve más arroz de la cuenta y vaina. Pues, me echaste mucho. But when she's like, I'm tired, like, I'm not for it, I completely understand, and sometimes she doesn't even have to tell me.
You can
like, oh, baby, sirve la comida, and she'll just, like, give me that look like, no joda tú ahora mismo. And I'll be like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
That brings me to our next question. Gender roles have changed in the last 50, 100 years, okay?
No, not that far.
Before, in the last, I don't know history.
Clearly you don't.
I don't
50
give a
to
fuck.
100 years.
The point is, before women used to be more like homemakers,
Yeah.
right? Right now, I can name one person that I know personally that's a stay-at-home mom. Everybody, you only know one person too? The same person.
The same person.
We know one person that's a stay-at-home mom. Everybody else that we know is a mom and has a career and has to cook and clean and do laundry and all the rest of the stuff. Do you think that the gender roles changing affect how machismo should be handled?
Or is handled.
Yeah. So the situation is it's a fine line where you can never fit everybody into like the roles. That was my argument with the video. There's no roles.
No.
There's no set roles for a relationship. There's people that you will date, that you find a common ground as to like, these are my limits and these are yours. Let's find where we could meet each other in the middle, and we know, okay, these are things that I'm 100% okay with doing every single time. These are the things that I'll do it, but annoy the crap out of me, and I'm gonna just do it, just to help out. And then these are things that we could just, uno lo hace un día, otro lo hace otro.
Yeah.
It's something that you won't develop, like off the bat.
It takes practice.
It annoys me when I hear what do you bring to the table as a woman? Like, it irks me. It me vuelve loco. That and the same thing, like, the same thing when women do the same thing with the men. Like, can you build a house? Like,
but can you though?
It's so corny.
Okay.
It's so corny. I can build a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. I thank my stepdad for that. Todo lo que sé, I painted my own house. The bar I have in the back, the shed, the closet I have in the back, la cama, todo. Yo cambio mi propio aceite. I do my own stuff. I have all my tools. I do all that. That's completely fine. The thing is, when you want to set roles on somebody just because of their gender, that's a problem. I have a friend that he's a chef. He's the one that cooks in his house.
And there's nothing
Not
wrong
his
with
wife.
that.
And that's the problem. Whereas, like, men, lo que tú dijiste ahorita, machismo versus masculinity.
Two different
Just because
things.
you cook and you clean your house doesn't mean that you're losing your masculinity.
Period.
Doesn't mean you're any less of a man. So, again, it's like what you doing, Cynthia, with your kid. Doing the laundry, doing the stuff.
Okay.
When he gets older, it's just gonna be second nature to him.
Right.
My clothes are dirty. I got to do my clothes. It's not going to be something where he's going to look. There's going to be times, because we all have it. Cuando tú miras el hamper y tú dices, de que mierda, no le cabe un pantaloncillo más. Pero yo tengo 3 en la gaveta. So that means I got 3 more days till I do laundry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really, it's something where you have to discuss and learn with your partner.
Yeah.
For me, where I'm raising two daughters and 2 sons, right? And for me, I just have to look at them each of them as 4 humans. I don't want them to ever be in a place in their lives where they have to be a burden to somebody because they can't figure their own shit out.
Yeah.
So my daughters, my boyfriend's gonna have to teach them how to go and get an oil change or hire somebody to do the shit that they don't know how to do. And my sons, they're gonna have to do the same. They have to know how to do everything as a human to take care of themselves. Because when they're in a partnership, they don't know if they're gonna be with a woman who loves to cook, or they're gonna be with a woman who hates to cook, and they're gonna have to take turns. They don't know who they're gonna end up with. So for me, it's like I don't want my daughters or my sons to be a burden on anyone. I want them to be able to go in as an entire whole person who can take care of them damn selves, and then they find a partner where they find the right balance for them as a couple. Because just like
and it's also understanding que, like Dominicans say, cada cabeza un mundo.
Oh, yes.
So you, especially that you have 4 kids, you know that there's not 2 of them alike.
at
Oh,
all.
they're all so
Like,
different.
cada quien tiene su propia personalidad.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah.
They're all different. So,
And it's funny that you
it's
say
also-
that, because my mom, like, for me, I grew up with brothers and sisters, but my mom raised us all the same, and none of us are the same. I'm like the neat freak out of everybody. Like, out of all my brothers and sisters, I'm the one that is very particular about how things are done, when things are done, all those things. My sister is the opposite. She's like, when
free spirit, yeah.
She's like, when I have time, I'll do them. And it's funny because when I was 7 or 8, I told my mom, if you don't move her out, we used to share a room. I'm like, if you don't move her out of my room, you'll only have one daughter. Because I will murder her. I can't take her messy ass side, take her out of my room. Because I couldn't deal with that. And I still can't deal with that. Like as an adult. I already have a chaotic mind, and not having order for me is hard. Like I can't navigate through life. You know what I'm saying? So my son is the same way. And that's why it's so important for me to, even if I had a daughter, I feel like I would still go about life the same way. Teaching them these skills. Because like you said, I don't know who they're going to end up with. I don't know who they're going to fall in love with. I don't know where they're going to end up in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's important for them to be efficient human beings.
Kenny, do you ever see, like, I know personally, I know a family that has an older son and a younger daughter, right? And I remember this girl having to come home at 11, 12 years old, come home from school. And her mom also worked a late shift like your mom did. She had to come home from school and cook for her older brother. She was 12, 10, 11 years old, having to come home and cook and clean and get the house ready for when her mom came home. She wasn't stressed out while her brother played video games. And that fucks with me hard.
Yeah.
Because this poor little girl, it doesn't get to be a child because the mom didn't want to teach her son how to be a man. And a man
how to be a person.
A man doesn't mean like, oh, you just sit there and get shit handed to you. A man is a man who sees something that needs to be done and takes action. For me, a man is a person who takes action.
And you know what, now that you say that, do you feel like, well, we already established that there's a difference between machismo and masculinity. If men knew, machismo men, or what is the word?
Machista.
Yes. There you go. Thank you.
Estamos borracho. Thank you.
It's okay.
But if they knew that they would get more from their partner operating in their masculine energy
versus machismo,
versus their being a machista, like, I don't even know where I was going with that, but I don't think people know that they would actually
I get what you're saying.
You know, they would get more out of their partnership, because I'm going to speak as a woman. As a woman, when you see your man operating in masculine energy, like, you want to do more. You don't have to be asked to do more. You want to do more.
Like, I'm the woman who I love when my man gets home and I can serve him his meal. But I also love that he sees that I'm exhausted and he doesn't ask me.
Question. Let me ask you too. Do you get mad if the food's ready and you're like, okay, here, come on, let's ven a comer, and they don't come and the food starts getting cold?
No.
Problema suyo si se le quiere comer fría.
La mujer mía, she gets mad. She's like, yo, te va a enfriar la comida, camina a comer.
But I get that, because she's probably rushing to make sure that you have a hot cooked meal.
That's the thing.
And you're, what is the word?
So that's
lollylagging. And she makes fun of me.
Any other day I would have been, like, you know, like, if it was any other relationship, I'd be like, it's fine, you know, like, I'll eat the food later. Yo me la tengo que comer su comida cuando está caliente.
And that's why she's a fiance.
That's the thing.
And that's why she's a fiance.
She made this meal with love. And for her, what's important is that you enjoy the meal as she intended you to enjoy it.
Hot.
So the thing is for you as a man to understand what's important to your fiance.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
But there's men that miss that.
That's the definition of a man who is in his masculine energy. You want her to be happy. You know she made this meal out of love for you. And you know she likes when you enjoy it nice and warm, right straight out the oven, straight out the stove. Rapando el cocón, la vaina. Then eat it, bro.
That's the thing that men don't understand. Well, I would say boys, men would understand. Period. That those are small things that as a woman, you appreciate that from a man. Like, okay, this is a man thing. Un carajito, tú le dices la vaina 3 veces. Ya, esto es lo que no me gusta, you know, and then you got to repeat yourself and do it. At the end of the day, we're all like that, you know. There's things where ella me lo tiene que decir 10 veces. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, none of us are, though.
She'll be like, coño, estoy harta de decírtelo.
None of us are perfect. Yeah. The fact that you can recognize it is good.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the type of person that I forget stuff. Like my memory is amazing. So, you know Dory, like from Finding Nemo.
Yes, I
Yes.
do, because that's me.
You're like,
Mhm.
oh. So I have a very great, like my long-term memory is amazing.
Short term.
My short-term memory, bro. Oh
We have
my
an episode on
God.
that. We have an episode on a lot of these things.
Yo, this morning I went to the gym. She's like, yo, párate en el supermercado, tráeme esto, esto, lo otro. I didn't see the text message. I didn't see it. So when I got home, she's like, ¿dónde está la vaina para el desayuno? I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry. When I was baby's waking up, I gotta get ready for work. Toda la vaina, I was like,
You fucked up,
se
Kenny.
fue, ya se fue. Yeah,
You fucked
yeah.
up. That's
And
sleep
then,
on the
well,
couch, bro.
wait. What's
Sleep
the
on the
natural?
couch.
What was the natural consequence? You didn't get breakfast.
Well, technically, I'm fasting. So,
Okay,
one that
all
didn't
right.
eat.
So
Okay,
the
that-
poor
the
lady.
episode is over. Never mind.
so I feel bad. Yeah, I feel bad.
Well, you
But,
didn't see
um,
the text, so we'll forgive you this one time. But
We're
Yeah.
not forgiving Kenny for
But
this.
you know the usual, like, oh, you always have your phone, you don't see your text message, you're ignoring me, you know.
That
That's
hits
like,
different,
ustedes
though.
se ponen.
but you know that next
That's
time you'll
how
definitely pay attention. This is the thing, like you said, a man will
There's
know. Like, okay, this is
it'll
important.
happen again.
This is important, so I gotta
It'll
make sure if
happen
I'm at the gym before I head home, before I strap in my seatbelt,
I check
I'm
my
gonna check
phone.
my phone real quick.
Exactly.
Siaka.
Claro, no,
Yeah.
claro.
That's it, because none of us are perfect. It might happen once or twice.
Yeah. So with the relationship thing, what I was gonna say is that's why to me there's no roles. Because there's a specific role. You build your roles with your partner. There's no male, female role. There's no one way ticket. It's all different because everybody has a different upbringing. Everybody has different things that besides being raised that way, that's not what you basically incorporated into your adulthood.
Yeah.
Like my stepdad raised us que el hombre no está sin camisa en su casa. The fuck?
What do you mean? It's your house. El hombre está tan cuero,
It's
pelón.
my house. Like on top of that, like bro, you don't turn on the AC. Is New York is humid as hell.
It is.
It's 98 degrees, and you think I'm gonna have a new wife beater? I'm sorry, it's hot.
Yeah.
So it got to the point one day where he came home from work, and me and my brother are in the living room without a shirt. When he came in, we put our shirt on. Pasaba a cada rato eso, but one day he's like, so ustedes, si yo no estoy aquí, ustedes no se ponen camisa. And I told him straight up, I'm like, yep, exactly. He said, si ustedes no me respetan. I'm like, no. That's the day that I realized where it doesn't matter how much you try to teach your kids the way that you want them to be, the lifestyle that you want them to have. There will always be things that as kids you will intake and be like, this is something that I believe to be a way of life.
True.
And I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And there's things where I'm just doing this para no oírte la maldita boca,
Yeah.
para que tú te calles.
Yeah.
We won't know what that is for our kids until they're like adults.
Adults.
But there's
it'll
there's
happen.
definitely things that
It'll happen.
But
Yeah,
the same
it
thing
is.
happened
It'll
to
always
us.
happen.
Like, there's a lot of things that our moms lo inculcaron that I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And so you pick and choose.
I'm doing it para que tú te calles y no me
Well,
jodas.
yeah, I'm doing it out of respect right now because I live with you and you're
Exactly.
expecting me to.
Para
do
no
it.
oírte la boca.
But
Pretty much.
But I'm not doing this when I leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the
Exactly.
beauty about. I think that's that's something we talk about all the time, like the beauty of having both worlds, being traditional, but also being millennials, being raised here, picking and choosing the things that we want to continue or not continue.
We have like this Dominican ass fuck upbringing, but also like we're in another country where so many things are different,
Yeah.
and we get to experience both worlds and dabble and be like, okay, this works the best for me in this region, and this works the best for me in this other region.
And fuck that, that's stupid.
And like I'm gonna pick whatever's best for me in my
Yeah.
in my family moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
So if I want to be without a shirt in my house because it's 98 degrees and humid, guess what?
I'm gonna be
I'm gonna have
naked.
my nipples out. Leave me alone.
That's why he went skinny dipping, but that's something
That was
else.
the last
There you
episode. Yeah. So thank you so much for discussing machismo with
Yeah.
us. We have another segment.
me
It's
take
called
over.
Dear Cynthia
Let me
plus
take
Beverly's
over.
2 pennies.
her 2 cents, because let me tell you, people write to me for my advice, porque si tú no sabías, Kenny, yo soy la psicóloga de mi
Y
familia.
yo se la metí.
Okay.
So.
Y ella, I don't know
Yeah.
who she thinks she is, but she always
Yo
wants
soy,
support.
yo soy el psicólogo de la
Ah,
familia
tú ves.
mía.
Perfect. This is gonna
I
be
feel like you
perfect.
were a Virgo. You were just born in the wrong time, but that's something different. So, anyways,
Didn't you say your son's like you?
he
Yeah,
is
he's
like
a
me,
Leo.
but he's a Leo.
Okay, and he's a Leo.
Yeah.
There you go. Mírame aquí.
Es verdad.
It's me, Mom.
Dios te bendiga. But we have this segment that's called Dear Cynthia, right? And people write to our Google form. We don't know who it is.
It's anonymous.
It's
completely.
completely anonymous,
Anonymous.
right? You
Yeah.
listen. You work in marketing. You know what a Google form looks like. I'm not here trying to educate you. Like, you know what that looks like. But today,
Don't women explain things
like,
to me.
what am I doing? But we have a Dear Cynthia, but in reality, we said, but it's really Dear Kenny, because
Okay.
in our Instagram, we said, hey, write to us your questions, but like what you want a male perspective on, aka you're answering these
Okay.
questions. Yo no tengo nada que ver.
Yeah.
So si me comen a mí, I'm gonna direct them to your page, porque yo no tengo que
No,
ver.
claro.
So, babe, you want to read the first one?
Yes. So
These are actual questions, though.
Yeah, from our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one
Okay.
is, Dear Kenny. I'm adding the Dear Kenny because it's implied.
It's implied.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Dear Kenny, why do men go swimming? Act like they like them the whole time, then dip, even without getting the kitty. I'm reading verbatim.
Wait. Say that question
I
again.
will read it again,
Come
sir.
on, please.
Dear Kenny, why do men go swimming? Act like they like them the whole time, then dip, in parentheses, even without getting the kitty.
I feel like she wanted to say, she, because, I mean,
This is
kitty.
obviously a woman.
She said, I think she meant even after giving the kitty, right? Because why? Even before giving the kitty.
No. Even before,
I
like,
think that-
okay,
I
it
think
wasn't
she means-
only that wasn't what they were looking for.
Okay.
They ghosted them. They didn't even get the
Yeah.
cat. And they were like,
they were like
Okay.
deuces.
right.
Okay, so
What do you think, Kitty?
I'll give you the sad, honest truth
Uh-oh.
about males, and the men
Have a
will
drink,
probably
babe.
kill me for this one. So, let's all drink to that. Men, when they actually meet women, they have two thoughts. It's either one or the other. Either she's beautiful, I want to get to know her, or I just want to F her.
Mm.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Wow, there's
So
no in
the
between.
ghosting without doing anything, you were one of those that he wanted to get to know you, and he was interested, and probably whatever he saw from you that he disliked, he just walked away and just left it at that.
Gosh darn it.
Do you think it was
So-
because they were like, your personality sucks?
Oh, whatever reason, I'm
So-
guessing.
So everybody's different. You can never really have like a set, mind as to what guys are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys that probably do like a woman. There's probably they probably get either turned off by a certain aspect. It's not always physical. I want women to understand that.
Mm.
As men, they don't stop talking to you or not take you serious just because either they didn't like the intimacy, because something's wrong with you, nothing to do with your weight, your hair, your nails, none of that. It's just something that guys are like,
Sometimes it
okay,
doesn't
I just
click,
don't feel
yeah.
it. Yeah, it doesn't click. Remember, guys are very physical.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really like that emotional until like it gets to a certain extent. Like my fiance told me that she was ghosting me. Like that's it. Like, okay, we're done talking. I'm not messing around. Y después de ella decirme eso, porque yo me di cuenta, I'm like, yo, like that hurt. Wait, I don't want to lose you. Give me a second. Like, let's talk about this. So, it takes. There's no specific way of dating. Waiting 2 dates, waiting 3 dates, having a one-night stand. There's no specific regulation. You will have men that will judge you regardless, and you will have men that won't judge you for anything. Be yourself. Accept the person that's gonna accept you. Like, take the person that's gonna accept you for who you are, and not a persona, and let it happen naturally.
Period. I love that advice. Be you, babe. Okay? If he doesn't like you when you have
Be
your
you.
tubi and your bajo boca, he's not gonna like you ever.
Stop.
Bajo
Hey,
boca is
stop.
bajo boca is a
Cabeza
stretch,
dura.
babe.
Todas las
In the
mujeres, listen.
morning.
Stop trying to change men. A red flag is a red flag. Don't turn it a green flag. Don't turn it into a checker flag. A red flag is a red flag. Okay? You could talk about it. Yeah, checker like una carrera. The checker flag. Stop trying to win the race. Stop trying to win the.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's going on, I get it. If you wanna give them the benefit of the doubt, work it out, explain, express yourself.
I'm guilty of
Let
that.
them know. If it doesn't work out, stop trying to change guys.
Period.
My younger
Go to
self,
therapy.
you know, like I said, I was a psychologist on my life, so I was like, "You're fucked up. Let me help you."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Clearly, that didn't work out in my favor.
This next one, Kenny, it doesn't even sound. It's not even a question. It's a statement. I'm gonna read it verbatim first, and then I'm gonna ask the question that I think they're trying to ask. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is quote unquote. Men always want a woman out together. I think they meant all together.
Yes.
Own house, own car, own money, but yet they bring nothing to the table. I think the question that they're trying to ask is, why does a man want a woman to have like all her shit together
When they don't.
when they don't have their own shit together?
That's just the delusional men.
True.
I'm not a man, but I wanted to answer this as a baby girl. Why are you even looking at that man? Si está exigiendo toda esta vaina, he doesn't have shit. Move on.
He's trying to leech off you. That's what I think.
There are men who do have their shit together, so like just go to a different man. That's what I would say.
But when you're
Listen.
fucked up, when you are not a complete human being, in the sense that you are lacking confidence
Self-esteem.
and self-esteem and all that stuff, like you kind of attract someone que te va talagando all the time, kissing your ass basically. But at the end of the day, what that person is doing is leeching off of you, using you. They're making you feel important, but in reality, they're just there to use you.
Yeah.
For the
What do you
most
think,
part.
Katie?
I think that anybody that's like asking for the other person to have something for them to date that person without them bringing it themselves, eso mismo. You're just trying to be a leash.
Yeah.
Like you're leeching. There's no way that you're gonna, as a man, decir no, ella tiene que tener su propia casa y la tuya. Because I get it. I completely understand. If as a man you bought your home, you know, and you're thinking about buying a second one, or whatever the case may be, or you're renting yours out, you already have a property, and you want to date somebody that has one too, that has their stuff together, you could put them together, you know. I understand that.
Not as
That's
a man,
completely
and I have to
acceptable.
interrupt you, Kenny. Not as a man. As a person, you wanting to date somebody on your level is okay.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. They always have the men date down, women date up conversation. If you feel that way, then don't date down
Period.
in your own eyes. If that is an issue for you, then don't date down.
Yeah.
That is just that simple. Oh, men date down. Then
fucking don't.
Then don't.
Hello.
Then don't. It's that simple. If you are also trying to date down to have a one-up on that person,
Which happens
then you
a lot
also
more
need
than
to
people
seek
want to
therapy.
admit.
You need to seek therapy as well, both men and women.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen that.
Everybody, you
need
heard it
help.
here first. If you want to date somebody beneath you just so you can have something like to hang over their head,
One up of them.
please seek therapy. That is not normal. That is
Seek
not
therapy.
healthy.
Yeah.
Please seek therapy. We love you. Bye.
You need help,
Yes,
and we're here for you.
we're here for you, but don't be fucked up. Thank you. Next question.
Why do guys feel less than if a girl makes more money than them?
No, let's stop.
For that
Do
same
you think
reason.
a guy does feel less than?
Yes,
Okay, and then why?
yes. Not. I could speak about my own situation. So I got laid off from my job, my one of my marketing jobs, when my son was like 5, 6 months old, and I still had my other job because I was still bartending at Trump, but it's not the same as my marketing job where I
Claro.
was getting paid well. So I felt less than, and I fell into depression. Um, but it takes a lot of maturity to accept where you're at right now and build from that
Mm-hmm.
and use that as a motivation, as a drive. It is not easy at all because there's days I didn't want to get out of bed, and a
Why?
lot of men, because you don't feel as a man. You feel like you lose your masculinity. As a man, as a father, not
You feel
being
like you
able to
had to
provide.
provide?
Yeah, yeah. Men, like real, at least real men, are built to provide. Regardless if you go 50-50, regardless if you go 60-40, regardless if you go 75-25, regardless if even you put less than your wife does, you still, as a man, feel that you need to provide and
Mm-hmm.
you need to be the man of the household.
Mm-hmm.
They're depending on you. And when that's stripped away from you, it's not easy to dig yourself out that hole. I remember when you asked me what was my favorite movie, and I
Lion
said Lion
King.
King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm paying
So
attention.
my baby was like I said, like 6 months old. Uh, I'm in pleno tráfico in Nueva York, taking my fiance to work, and the baby's in the back. He's awake, so I put Lion King music. I put the Simba song y toda la vaina. I just started bawling, just crying, because I'm like, I I grew up in DR, struggling, but when Lion King came out, I was still here. So from that to go to DR, seeing that my parents weren't having the best life here, to go to DR, try to build a better life, where I ended up struggling. I didn't have a childhood. I worked 7 days a week as a
Wow.
kid. I had cousins, my favorite cousins, come over, and I had to sometimes watch them play outside without me because I had to work. I had to miss school sometimes because I had to work. So to hear those songs that bring childhood memories
Mm-hmm.
and then know that I don't have a job and like I'm struggling, I'm just like thinking like my kid's gonna have to go through that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I was just bawling,
You
just
about to make me
en
cry.
pleno tráfico, like a,
No more
like
rent
a
for you.
baby just bawling. And it was hard. It was very hard. And my fiance was very supportive and very like motivating. Like keep pushing. Make sure you send me your resume out there. And I went to a lot of interviews, dude. Yo fui a mucha entrevista, and nothing clicked. Nothing clicked. And I was working at Trump where it was slow. Mind you, Trump, was he a president at that time?
Probably not.
I think it was already a president. And
6 years.
it was bad because it was complaints out the door. Siempre habían huelga afuera. So customers couldn't come inside. Business was bad. Like I went from making good money to
To
barely
struggling.
25% of that a week. So it was hard, and obviously having a kid,
Yeah.
at that stage,
That
el
pressure.
diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
get that because I
um,
feel like I'm there now. Like, I don't know if you know, but I work, like I said a couple times, I work in education, and I'm trying to get out of education because I can't do it anymore. So I gave myself until the summer, I said, babe.
Yes.
And I've applied to 1,000 places, but the competition, especially with layoffs and everything that's going on in the world, is hard.
yeah,
You
You
just
know,
can't change careers.
and I'm changing careers, and even though I have a degree in marketing and management, I don't have
experience
experience.
in
All
that.
my experience has been in education. up until this point.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating when you're applying. They're like, actually, no. Like, thanks for applying, but like, we're going to go with a different candidate. But I try to remind myself that, like, you know, you just have to keep pushing forward. Because out of all those jobs that I'm applying, someone is going to say yes. And that's it.
Yeah.
Kenny, hook her up
So
with a
with
job.
me, with me,
Amigo.
we were with my job. I had a 3 week. I had 3 weeks of PTO accumulated. So I was going for those 3 weeks to DR. You know, visiting her family, visiting my family, going to a resort, everything planned out. Cool. I get laid off. They never paid me my PTO.
What?
They never paid me my PTO. Because they transferred me
Wait, you got
from
laid off
company.
while you were on vacation in DR?
No, I got laid off before going.
But you
So
had
I
it all
went
planned
on
out.
vacation con todo y todo. Con todo y being laid off and just working at the. So I had to cut my vacation to 2 weeks, pay extra to come on vacation because I had to change the flight because now I'm not at a stage where I'm getting paid for being off. I'm missing those days of working because now I work at a restaurant where I'm depending on tips. And I went y toda la cosa. I don't know. Are you guys like religious? Like, are
Yeah,
you
of
Christian?
course.
100%.
Do you believe in God?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So, ese viaje I went everywhere. I drove, I drove like I've never driven before in my life. From La Capital to Bani, from Bani to Barahona, from Barahona to Moca, from Boca to Puerto Plata to Santiago to back to Moca. I drove everywhere. We leave Sunday. Friday in the afternoon, my fiance goes like, tenemos que ir para la Basílica mañana from Moca. That's a 5-hour drive from El Cibao.
I've been to La Basilica. It's beautiful.
So I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, all right, cool. I asked her brother-in-law, he can't go. I asked her cousin, he can't go. I'm the only one that could drive.
Oof.
To go para la misa, 5 horas para ir y 5 horas para venir. I'm like, it is what it is. I'll go. Mind you, I had AT&T at that point. AT&T was still where like it's one gigabyte for like $20-$30, algo así era que yo tenía. So you can't use the internet basically in DR. So I turn on the location, Google Maps on thing to get to Higüey. It'll take you with no internet. You just cannot get out the route. If you get out, it won't reroute you.
Yeah.
So you gotta find your way back in. So yo así mismo fui. Llegué a Higüey en la misa, knocked out. Passed out. Cuando el padre decía de que oremos, I used to get up y me levantaba y van. I got out the misa. I turn on my phone, turn on the internet to get the address to go back. And when I turn it on, I get 2 voicemails. 2 interviews. One of them is the job that I'm still in today.
Wow.
God knew. He knew.
He's like, diablo, este loco se fajó. Vamos a buscar un trabajo.
Buscarle algo. Él se lo merece.
It's because, and I said this in one of my TikToks, because we're doing a 30-day challenge. But I said in one of my
Go
TikToks,
to our TikTok and like everything. We're trying to post anything for 30 days. Because we're not used to posting stuff. We're not used to being in front of a camera.
Yeah.
It's like uncomfortable for us.
Very
Even
uncomfortable.
this was weird for us at first.
Yeah.
But we're trying to do something on TikTok every day for 30 days. So.
But in one of my posts, so like for us, we grew up very religious in church. Like our family is Christian to the max. Like yo tengo tía pastora. My mom and my dad are both very Christian. We grew up Baptist, in a Christian.
Yeah.
So God for me, and that's something that I'm saying in my TikToks, it's weird because I think in the time that we're living today, it's kind of weird to talk about your faith because you have to be careful about how everybody feels, being politically correct. And it's uncomfortable because I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, I'm not being true to myself. And God for me is very important.
The thing is, as long as you speak your truth, speak your faith,
of course,
and don't try to force your faith onto anybody else, that's completely fine. The problem, the thin line is when you try to incorporate your faith to other people.
Yeah,
when you're trying to impose, oh, whatever the other religions do
Right.
is a problem.
Like judging
My
other
religion is the only one
religions
that's right.
versus
That is
yours.
the
Exactly. And
issue.
for me,
But I
I don't
think
want to be
we're
judged. Like, this is my faith, and this is
exactly,
how I grew up, and this is important in
yeah,
my life. You know what I'm saying? And so
exactly,
we
exactly.
talked about, sometimes things happen the way that they're supposed to happen because there's a greater, like, sometimes you have plans for your life, but God has bigger plans for your life.
Right.
So he's trying to test
100%.
you to see like how far your faith goes, to see if you are
Yeah,
worthy of getting those things. But sometimes we get
I
so
had to.
discouraged in the process that you don't see it through. And then you're like, pero Dios
Yeah,
mío, ¿por qué? But
that
if
was
you wouldn't have
that was
done that,
something that happened a lot.
but if you wouldn't have
Yeah,
done
that was
that five
something
hour
that
drive, you
happened a
probably
lot.
wouldn't have gotten that call, is what I'm trying to say. But you were like, yo no sé,
100%.
vamos ahí, yo no sé. Like you
Exactly.
trusted what you felt was the right thing to do. And
Exactly.
then God blessed you
Exactly.
with an interview to a
Exactly.
job that you still have today, is what I'm trying to say. And you have to
Yeah.
see it through, you know?
Yeah, a job that's been the best job I've had hands down in my life. Like I love the company I work for. I love the bosses that I have. Like I'm blessed. Very few people could say that they have
Amen.
like very
For real.
understanding. Like to the point where I'm like I told them I'm like my administrator now when we started working, we were clashing, like we were bumping heads because he was coming from like a different facility in Brooklyn where like things were run different ways and él quiso entrar como de cabeza así like forzando y we bumped heads at the beginning, but right now we're at a like we got to a point where he got me to work as a supervisor on Saturdays,
Wow.
just an extra day. Like we got that close where he's like, you know what? I could talk to the owners. I could get you an extra day of work para que tú sigas avanzando. Because that's the
That's
thing.
amazing.
Again, my mom's worked 50 hours a week. Me working a 9 to 5 is under what my mom's done.
That's the thing.
So I'm like, yo necesito más trabajo.
Yeah.
I need to
You feel
do
like you're not
something
doing
else.
enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I grew, like I told you, I grew up working 7 days a week. So it's just my natural, you know, my
It's
natural
your normal
upbringing
state.
of what it
Working is normal.
It's normal
Yeah.
for you, yeah.
But what I was saying about the faith is a lot of people's faith got tested, during COVID, because a lot of people lost family
Of
members,
course. Yeah.
and my mom was one of them. She questioned God a lot. So I'll show you guys.
What is that?
Altagracia Duran, that's my grandmother. She passed to
Oh.
COVID.
I'm sorry to
Sorry
hear
for
that.
your loss.
Thank you. And it was tough.
Of course.
It was tough because she was one of the first ones, and she passed away in April.
Wow,
The
right
whole
away.
like
Right, a
quarantine
month
started in
after.
March. Yeah,
Yeah.
literalmente uno encerrándose. She declined in the house, and they took her to the hospital. And 2 days in the hospital, she passed.
Oof.
So
And you guys
that
weren't
was
able
that
to
was
see her or
very
anything,
tough.
right? In the hospital?
Dude, we weren't able to see her. We weren't like I had to ask for a picture
Oh,
to confirm like the body that we were getting was hers.
I can't even
We
imagine.
couldn't do nothing. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I don't know how I'm not crying right now, but I'm happy I'm not because I told you I wasn't giving y'all free tears.
But you're not giving us free tears. You earned them. We earned them.
We earned these tears.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking like very paused to make sure
Yeah.
Yeah.
I breathe enough
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, I miss her, dude. I miss her a lot. I wasn't able to grow up with her. She lived in Puerto Rico. She was the reason why we moved to Puerto Rico. Ella tenía su negocio allá y todo. And I was able to spend a little bit, a couple of days with her, like one-on-one
Mm-hmm.
before like the whole COVID situation happened. So
That's tough.
I'm
She
like
already-
a softie. I'm already crying.
I am a very soft. I don't know how I'm not crying. It's probably because of the alcohol.
yeah, no, me too.
Because yo soy la que lloro primero.
All right, so we
Yeah.
mentioned your mom.
Oh, I do follow. There's like every time I see a grandma video, that's another thing about being a parent. Every time I see a grandma video, I lose it. I freaking lose it. There's this girl that I follow on TikTok, Sierra I'm an anime fan. I don't know if you guys
Yes,
saw
I
the
saw that
video.
video of you
So I
talking
was
about
defending
anime.
anime. Yeah, so I'm a huge anime
Yeah.
fan. I've always been an anime fan, and she has her grandmother watching one of the longest anime of history, which has like over like 1,100 episodes.
Oh wow.
1,100. So she
Damn.
has her grandmother watch, and every time I see her watching it, I just ball out.
Oh.
Every
Can I ask a question?
every single
And this might be a
what?
stupid question. Is Dragon Ball Z considered anime?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
that is anime. So Dragon Ball
That's not a
Z,
stupid question.
Well, I
Naruto,
wasn't sure.
um, yeah. The only one I would say that's not considered anime is like Avatar. That's what
Yeah, but that's
a lot of
different.
kids used to
Yeah.
watch, like on Nickelodeon
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, Dragon Ball Z is
Yeah,
anime.
we talked about that. My dad was obsessed to the point that he bought the whole collection. Obsessed with Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
because
Z.
it's your childhood.
Well, he didn't
It's
have
things
one.
that
That's
you
why he
grow up.
bought it. He didn't have a childhood, but he
Oh,
loved
like
Dragon
my
Ball Z.
headphone case. Look, you can see my headphone case is an anime character.
I don't know what that is, but it looks really cool.
That's is Zoro.
I'm like, ni ang idea, but yeah.
But my
we
dad and
love
my
it.
my,
We
my
love
dad
that
and
for
my
you.
brothers were obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. Like would watch it every
Yeah.
Sunday in Japanese and try to translate what they were saying. Que Goku le dijo a Vegeta.
We-
I'm like, what? How you know what they're
They
saying?
used to watch.
You guys don't know Japanese.
Yeah. But I was just talking about on Sunday, my friend, and he's actually taking Japanese in college right now, and he was saying a couple words. So I told him like, oh, I know what that is. That's this and that. So he's like, wait,
How
like
do you know?
Because
you
of
know a
the
lot of
anime.
words. I'm like, bro, you know the amount of anime that I watch, but it's hard because for you to hear, you have to hear the same word
Mhm.
and then read the subtitles
Mhm.
and like hear the same word and then like to be able to catch on to it
Mhm.
and like know like, oh, okay, that word is this.
Yeah.
Kids from DR have learned English just like that
Mhm.
with the subtitles and
Yeah.
watching cartoons.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's possible.
Exactly. And music too.
Mhm.
Yes, and with
I
Eminem,
I'm the
my cousin, I'm never gonna forget this. My cousin Lady, I went to I don't know if your mom ever did. No, you lived in DR. Your mom never couldn't have done this.
your cousin lady like one scene Sadie?
Who?
What?
One scene Sadie. I said I'm the real Slim Shady. One scene
Oh
Sadie. Like, lady
no,
saying,
No,
probably.
my cousin was named after Lady Laura. Abrázame fuerte, Lady. But anyway, literally, her name is Lady Laura. If you see this lady,
oh.
I love you. But I went to DR. I was sent to DR on punishment for a summer because we were bad kids. You know
Okay,
how it
you
goes.
know who got
Of
the real
course.
punishment? Me. It was the longest summer of my life. I was
Sorry,
so
babe.
mad.
I was 13, okay? And I brought my Eminem CD in my little Walkman. And my cousin
Yeah.
lady, who knew not a lick of English, learned the entire album, the Eminem album, word for word, every song.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn how to sing the
I
songs
don't know
without
how the fuck, but
knowing what they do. There's a lot of Japanese songs that I know
Get the
and I
fuck
can
outta
sing
here.
them to you. I have no idea what I'm saying.
she was like, I'm so sick
have
and
no-
tired of me. But she couldn't tell you what the
Feeling
fuck she was
my-
saying.
Yeah, no, that's what album was that?
Marshall Mathers, right?
Marshall
I
Mathers.
think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
1,000
I was gonna
years
say
ago.
Shady Aftermath, but that was Marshall Mathers.
No, I think it was. I have
Yeah,
another question.
that song that you just said is The Way I Am.
Yes.
That was definitely. But Slim Shady, the Slim Shady song was one of the biggest songs in DR. Y todos los carajitos, one sin serio, one is on baby, you don't want to sing serio.
That's how
Así
she
era
used
que la
to sing
cantaba.
them songs. So cute.
You swear that you saying exactly what they're saying, but then somebody that speaks the language, you're like, yeah,
You're like, okay,
close,
maybe I'm a
but
little
not
off.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So
There's a couple of like the Japanese songs that yo cantaba así, and I'm like,
I can't even
oh,
believe
okay,
that.
I say this word wrong.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the next question, you said you have a really great relationship with your mom, right?
Yes.
So let's give a hypothetical here.
Okay.
The question that I have, and I'm going to read it verbatim. What should a man do if his mother is causing conflict in his relationship, but has no valid reason to dislike the wife? You love your mom.
You
have. It sounds like you have a great relationship with her. You have a fiance.
Yes.
Also sounds like you have a great relationship with her. What would you do if your mom really was causing conflict, but had like not a valid reason to hate your fiance?
To be honest, I had that situation.
Oh,
Oh shit.
The girlfriend that I had
oh.
in DR, and I never understood why she hated her. But she had her own reasons.
Your
She's
mom?
like, I don't like. Yeah,
Okay.
she's like, I don't like her. She's like, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. And my mom is, mama no una la madre dominicana apoyadora. Que you know how girls be like, my dad was good, but I see my cousins, they do what they do, van you know, they like cheat and do all that. Mami no coge esa. A mami tú no podías traer y que, oh, esta es mi novia y traer otra mujer para la casa.
Good.
My
I
mom
like
don't
your
play
mom.
like that. Yeah, no, my mom does not play with that. So for her to say like NDR, I get it. I said it in the other podcast. I know you guys. I don't know if you watched
I
it.
Yes,
You
you
said
did.
you
did.
watched it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see
Yo,
like this gringuito, and they're
I'm
like,
American.
mierda.
Yeah, I'm American. So mommy's
No
like
sé.
the girl that I was dating was, I think she was a year or 2 years older than me, and she's like, esta vieja me quiere coger carajito, tú sabes, para salir preñada. Y vaina." So I think that was mainly the reason of her like hating her.
I get that. Especially
But
when
I'm
you're
like,
young.
other than that, I'm like, I don't like. You're like, bro, like she's done nothing to you. Like she's been very respectful. But with my fiance, she loves her.
Good.
Like she's loved her since day one. La mujer mía llega a la casa de mami, ella ayuda a mami a cocinar. Like just so you guys understand, I know a lot of people don't have that relationship still with their parents. Because I've had a lot of friends tell me that. But en la casa de mi mamá nos juntamos todos los miércoles. Even
Aw,
after my
goals.
mom, they separated, yeah. So they're like, okay, Wednesdays is my day off. You guys coming over, I'm cooking. So nosotros llegamos, mami no acababa de cocinar, la mujer mía ya en el va y la ayuda en la cocina, chop the salad, you know, majar la papa, whatever it is that she was cooking that day. She'll make sure, you know, she helped out. Después que comía fregaba
I
y
love
toda
your
la
wife.
cosa.
Can we meet
So
her?
she,
Thank you.
yeah.
Fiance, because we're going to the wedding.
Sorry.
Yeah. But you know how you guys are, like you need to be ready and stuff like that. So she's not ready to be on camera.
That's fine.
That's
So
fine.
next
We're
meet
saying
time,
her.
personally.
Like literally, like us
literally,
driving
like-
4
of
hours
course,
to New
whenever
York.
you guys come to New York.
We don't have to have
Yeah,
no
cuando
cameras.
ustedes vengan.
It's just like an intimate meet because
Yeah.
when you
Definitely.
left,
You'll love her.
when we left, when you left to eat your pasta,
Yeah.
we said
Yeah.
we gotta go
We
to
gotta
dinner.
go to New York.
We gotta sit down because this felt.
It felt
No.
like it feels like we're talking to somebody that we've known for years.
Yeah,
It really does.
yeah. No, she's fire. She's dope.
She seems to
amazing.
be.
I could,
Everything you're saying
yeah,
says
I
that,
can't complain.
which is beautiful.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's how we love her.
Yeah,
We don't know. I
sometimes
have
she
no
don't
idea
believe
who the
it, but
fuck
I
she is,
love
but
her
we
to
love
death.
her. Thank you.
And you know what? To us, what's more beautiful is like functional, healthy relationships.
Yes.
To see that you are talking so beautifully about her says a lot about one, you, and two, her and the relationship that you guys have.
Right.
And I think that's what our podcast is about. Building
100%.
functional, healthy relationships that your children grow up seeing my mom and my dad love and respect each other. And that's the example that I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
That's gonna bring me to our next
Okay.
question, which is our most controversial clip to date.
I
Our
was
only
just
viral-
gonna say
Our
that.
only viral video. Okay.
Oh.
We had a discussion about who should be the priority: your spouse, your children, or your parent. As in, like your mom. Your mom. Is
Yeah,
important
I
in your
know.
life.
I know. I like if you're like in an accident or something happens, like who you putting first?
We're saying in general.
We're just saying in general.
Because
general?
before you even
Okay.
answer that,
I'll put it simple. It doesn't matter the situation.
Actually, go ahead.
I'll keep it simple as that. It doesn't matter if there's a fire. It doesn't matter if there's whatever it is. It's my kids, then my wife, then my mom.
interesting.
That's my.
But you said
That's
something
fine.
that's different. You said fire. And in that case, I would do the same.
Right.
In
You
a
have-
fire.
Yeah.
You have children.
But we're
in a
talking about
fire.
everyday life. We're talking about where there's no
Okay.
emergency.
I'm gonna put it as simple as it gets. Meals. My a Dominican saying, as you both know, is primero Dios que su santo.
Claro que sí.
So basically, in the parent household, is the father's gonna eat first, and then the kids eat.
Yeah.
Not in my house. My kids eat first.
Okay.
I rather my kids eat first. We both actually rather our kid when we go out to restaurants. If we order appetizers, we're ordering the kids' meals first with the appetizer. Que ellos coman, vayan comiendo, y ya we eat and we're in peace because ya ellos comieron.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
that
how
makes sense.
we both are.
That makes sense.
That
but-
makes sense, but
yeah.
that's not our point of view.
Yeah, our point of view is completely different.
You want
Yeah, no, and that's fine. That's fine. Now I want to hear you.
But that's why it's controversial
That's why
because
it's so
we said
controversial.
Yes.
for us, our spouse goes first in a lot of things.
Okay.
And the reason
Okay.
for that is because when you are in a partnership where you put each other first, it's easy for everything else to then come in line because you guys are feeding each other. Your relationship is in a great place. You guys, your needs are met, and so you're able to provide whatever is needed to your children. Do you understand what I'm saying?
100%.
Jesus, that car was loud.
I think,
I don't know if
Yeah, I
you
heard it myself.
you know what?
I heard.
Mind you, this is a campo.
Dominicano, eso tiene que ser un dominicano.
Ay,
¿Quién
no,
dijo?
for real.
Algún muchachito ahí de 16 años con un Honda pimpeado. Un Honda del
Un
98
Honda
pimpeado. It sounds like, and I don't know you personally, Kelly, even though I want to call
Yeah.
myself your best friend from now on.
Excuse me.
I'm his
Yeah.
best
Chequese.
friend. It sounds like the relationship that you're in with your fiance is a healthy relationship where even though maybe it feels uncomfortable to say it, you are putting each other first. Why?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because you're a happy man because your wife is a happy woman, and your wife is a happy woman because you're a happy man. This results in you guys being happy parents for your children. Which is why when
Yeah.
you guys have to order appetizers for your kids first, it doesn't bother either of you. You're not in a stinky ass mood. Your stomach isn't growling and you're not pissed
Yeah.
because you know that at the end of the day, you got her and she got you. So
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
For us, it's like the partnership is the foundation of everything. So if you don't have a healthy
Yeah.
relationship with your fiance, your kids are not gonna have healthy parents, and it's gonna
Of course.
that's what
Well,
we think.
that's also when it comes to, it depends. Like with meals, that's what I think. Like you have to give me a situation where you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm putting my kids first in this situation. It's my partner, and then I'll probably agree with you. It depends on the situation. You know, like with food and stuff like that. Yes, I'm putting my kids first. In a fire, I'm putting my
but
kids
that's
first.
Because
different.
you have small children
you know what I mean?
who
It
depend on
depends
you
on what
physically
you're-
for safety, and like they need
Yeah.
you to eat, like feed them, or they will
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
So it depends on what situation you're talking about. But
In
but if
general,
it's like
hard to think
overall,
about in general.
are
I think
both-
because your kids
yeah,
are little,
no,
maybe it's hard
yeah,
to think about
exactly.
in
And-
general.
no, 100%. No, if it's just the overall health, mental health of each other is more important to have than to be able to have a functional, household. Period.
You know what it is that
That's
none of us
definitely-
grew up, and I'm gonna say because of
I'm gonna include you in this case.
I was gonna say because you've already explained your story. None of us grew up in functional homes. To be honest, your parents
of
were
us did.
together like my parents. My parents were together. My parents just got divorced, babe. But God, okay, my parents were together up until
Prímela.
my parents literally just got divorced 6 years ago. Like I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant, seeing my parents go through a divorce and me being involved in that divorce. So I was
Yeah.
26, 27
So
years
did
old.
I.
And that was hard because I was
did I.
involved in the process of each of them.
Not as bad as I was. I doubt. I bet my involvement was way worse than yours.
Probably, but for me it was hard. And like it actually made the relationship between my dad and my sisters and I very difficult because he felt like I was choosing sides Well, he felt like we were choosing sides. When in reality, I
Yeah,
just
and
told
as
my
a
mom, I
parent,
understand where you come from. But
exactly.
even with them being together all my life, their relationship was dysfunctional. It was not a
Yep.
healthy, functional relationship. They were together because that's what people do,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I was caught up in the middle of my stepdad and mother's separation. Um, Long story short, I stuck my hand in fire for him. I got burnt.
Ugh.
that's the worst.
It sounds like you have a rough relationship with your stepfather.
Yeah. Pretty rough. I still love him. I still call him Papi.
Just like
Con
me
todo
with
y
my
todo.
dad. Yeah.
Because again, I've always been since a young age a very understanding person of like people's upbringing, where they come from, their side of you. There's obviously things that he scarred me with, a lot of stuff that I told him later on that, he hurt me with.
Hmm.
Like the payaso
Yeah.
thing. There's a lot of things, that, I was able to get it out to
Good for
be able
you.
to still not hold a grudge. Um, but I've always been that type of person. I think that's the thing. I'm the type of person que yo, I'd rather be fucked up and tell you the truth than like aguantártela.
That's me.
And I'm the complete
Yeah.
opposite.
That's me.
Yeah, no, no, no. Yo no te aguanto nada. I'm like, yo, if you like piss me off and you did something, I'll be like, yo, te pasaste.
Mhm.
Like you did this and the other. Or if I let it go and then you do it again, then I'll bring it up. Like, te la dejé pasar aquella vez and now you did this one. But lo mío es, I'm amazing. I'm a great friend. I'll be there for you. Lo mío es no me coja de pendejo. Y tú me quisiste coger de
Es
pendejo,
que no
hasta ahí
somos
llegaste.
locos. No somos locos.
Vamos a
Hasta ahí
poner los
llegaste.
puntos
I could be
I
a
sobre
will
la
good
do
I.
person.
anything for you.
Vamos a
But
poner los puntos sobre la I.
Yeah.
No somos locos.
I don't care if I have to be the first person to do the favor for you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the favor, with the intention of you reciprocating it. But when the moment is there for you to reciprocate it, and you actually have a reason to, and you don't have a valid reason not to, then I'm like, okay, no hay problema. Cruz y raya. Ya conmigo no
boundaries.
cuente.
Pa-
Yeah,
I'm still learning that in my
no
30s.
fácil. Yo,
You'll get there, babe.
yeah.
You'll get there, babe. I believe
Es
in
que
you.
yo soy muy sentimental and I think about people before myself too much.
Yes, but
And it's hard.
En el momento que tú pienses, mira, mierda, I'm worth it.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I think about whatever you need. No hay problema. El problema is when I need you
Are you going to do that
and
for
you're
me?
not the same way with me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I only
Wait.
have that's why I
Can
only
you
have
say
3
it?
friends.
Can you say it?
What?
He just did this and nobody said
Clip it. Clip them.
Kenny, you don't know this, but we have a famous saying in our podcast. What are you going to do?
Clip them.
Period. Clip
There you go. Come.
All right, Kenny, we have one last question from our listeners.
His wife probably hates us. Tell her that
Es un
we don't know
part-time,
her,
ya,
but we
es un
love her.
part-time. De las 7 de la noche son las 11 ya.
Yeah.
Es un
No, but you,
part-time.
you should tell her we don't know her, but we love her already.
We already love her, okay?
It's okay.
Last question. Do you believe in splitting costs 50-50 with your wife?
That comes into the role again. That comes into the role. If you're a person where you grew up where your father was a sole provider and he gave everything and he paid for everything and your mother stood at home and now all of a sudden you're working but you still feel that you want a man to do that, then don't date a man that wants 50-50 and wants you to pay bills and do everything else. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a woman that you feel that even though my husband works, I want to work too. I want to be able to provide too. I want to have my own money. Then you should be okay with paying whatever it is. If does it have to be 50-50 where it's like, okay, I pay the light bill, you pay the gas bill. I pay half of the rent, you pay half of the rent. I do the laundry, you wash the car. I pay the car note, you pay the gas. Whatever works for you, that's what works for you.
Yeah.
don't. Some of these women are starting to get into depression because they're like, oh, estas mujeres, los maridos le están pagando todo y el marido mío no me paga. Mi hermana, si usted se siente así, usted se sintió así de un principio, suelte ese hombre en banda entonces. Quédese sola, no hay problema. Find you somebody that you're going to be happy with. If you're okay with working and providing for your family and you're proud of making sure that you're contributing to the growth of your family, then by all means do that. It's just that simple. La mujer mía, we had our second child. I told her, stay home. I got this. Stay home. Don't worry about it. Take a second job. She said, nope.
Que me lo
She
digan a mí
went
para
to
que tú
school.
veas.
She graduated.
Que me lo digan a
She
mí.
has a degree. So what did she do? Now she applied to be a supervisor. She's waiting to get a supervisor job. So she's doing her thing to, build up and be bigger. So eso es lo que it's just
It's
who
subjective.
people are.
Right.
It's subjective to each person.
Is my household a 50-50? No. You'll
See,
never
for
have
me,
a 50-50.
you won't see me paying half of everything. Why? Because I'm the type of woman
No.
who likes to nurture, right? So I know that I'm the one doing I'm buying the food, I'm cooking, I'm doing most of the cleaning, I'm doing the laundry. Already, that's more than 50%.
Yeah.
So
Se lo
financially,
voy a poner fácil. Mira, se lo voy a poner fácil. I buy groceries. We don't do groceries like, oh, I spent such and such in grocery. You need to buy. We don't do that in my house. There's no such thing as like, oh, bueno, yo compré la semana pasada, tú compré la de esta. That does not exist. If there's something that needs to be bought and she's out in the supermarket and she buys it, she bought it.
mm-hmm.
If there's something that needs to be bought and I went and I bought it, I buy it. If there's something that needs to be bought, let's say for the kids, and she doesn't have it, and she tells me, hay que comprarte y todo lo otro, yo le digo, pídelo, usa la tarjeta mía.
Como debe ser. Y'all are a
Antes de ayer,
team.
she's like, oh, I want Panda Express. I don't know if you guys have Panda Express.
There's
No.
not any here, but I know.
But
what it
we've
is.
had it before. I've had
I
it.
It's
I've had
Asian
it
food.
once.
It's Asian food.
I know what it is,
It's
but
Asian.
We know
I've
what it
never
is,
had
yeah.
Yeah. So she's at work. I'm like, pídelo. Dime cuánto es, yo te lo mando. So she's like, $27. Yo era diablo.
You can return it.
Yo
Cancélalo,
se lo
cancélalo.
mandé. Yo se lo mandé. Today, I went to BJ's and I bought a bunch of stuff that we needed. Estábamos secos aquí en la casa. $525.
God damn. Let me sit down.
Esa fue la compra. Yeah.
Estoy agarrando.
$525.
In 1 week?
And
And one shop
I
is
didn't
free.
say, not one sitting. Not one week, una sentada. I told her, I'm like, yo, fue 525 pesos. I didn't say a word. I didn't ask her
I would have been
for
crying.
anything. She said, te mandé 100. I didn't ask her. I paid the 500. I don't care. It's for the family.
But you were like,
And
thank
she still
you.
sent me 100.
Well, that's the
Oh,
thing. It's
I'm
about a
kidding.
balance.
I'm
It's about
kidding.
nobody's abusing
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
You guys are a
You know?
team.
I can never. Yo le digo a ella de que tú eres una chapeadora, que si yo cuando, playing around
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I don't care if you're in a situation where you feel that your partner is taking advantage of you financially.
Yeah.
Then sit down and have that talk.
Yeah.
Because it's not 90. I don't know the statistic. I was gonna say 90% of marriages is not the reason, but there's a certain amount of relationship is higher than any other reason that they end because of financial
Yeah.
reasons.
Financial strain.
Have that
Yeah,
communication.
it's crazy.
Have that understanding. Set a budget. Set goals.
Mhm.
Set things to motivate each other
Mhm.
and work it out with each other. 'Cause at the end of the day, there's no set rules. The only thing I don't agree with my money is your money and your money is your money. That's the only
That's
thing
fucked up.
I don't go with.
Yeah.
I don't
You
go
lost?
with that.
No,
and
I got it. I was
that's
putting
just
two and two
me.
together. Come on.
Cindy took a minute to
And
get there.
that-
She looked
and-
at me mad lost.
The basically like, oh, I work.
Yeah.
My
Here's my
husband
money.
works. He pays all the bill.
Yeah.
I work.
I keep my
stash all
money.
my bills. And arriba de eso, I didn't sign a prenup. If your husband makes you sign a prenup, you could do that.
El
By
mío
all
está
means.
peleado, so we didn't say nothing.
By all means,
El
do
mío
that. Be
fue
like, bueno, tú estás clavando lo
con la
tuyo,
fe de
tú no
Dios.
me vas a dar nada, so déjame clavarme lo mío.
No.
By all means. But other than that, every relationship is different.
Yeah.
Stop trying to tell people like, oh, que traditional women, que men are
You wanna say
providers,
something?
que esto y que lo otro.
You say something.
Okay. And I get where you're coming from.
However,
like, baby, this is more your area.
I don't know what you're about to say. But
I do, because we've talked about
Oye,
being
nada de
traditional
lo
women.
que tú digas es aquí para ofenderme.
No,
Olvídate.
but we
Express
understand
yourself.
exactly your point, because for me, a lot of the things you're saying is things that we put into practice in our relationships and our lives every day.
Mhm.
Ultimately, I think we've had the conversation about femininity and masculinity, and part of being like working in your feminine energy is feeling like you are provided for and protected by a man.
But this is
Exactly.
the thing, and this is why I'm on Kenny's side.
I'm not saying that I'm not
Right.
on his side.
He's providing.
Don't put me against
she
Kenny.
was just-
He's providing.
No,
he's
I
providing
know where you're
financially,
coming
right?
from.
Yeah.
Cynthia.
Whether that's 50%, 60%, 75%, I don't know. That's their business. But he's also
Yeah,
providing
exactly.
an emotional space
Exactly, yeah.
where his wife can be like, mira,
I'm
oye,
tired
Kenny,
today. I can't get up.
Yo estoy cansada.
Yeah.
Ordéname la vaina que yo no
Vamos
voy a
para que
cocinar.
ustedes entiendan.
For real.
Cuando el niño nació, you know, obviously with the breastfeeding and everything, she's the one waking up most of the time with the baby, right? I will still wake up and help. The baby would cry. Would I hear him? No, I won't. I'm tired as hell. Her mother
I love
instinct,
your honesty.
like she's gonna, ella va a estar pendiente, you know, any little,
Yeah.
ella va a estar ahí, pum, de una vez chequeando.
It's
That's
annoying as
completely
fuck.
understandable.
And you're like,
He's dying.
Exactly.
it's annoying. I
Yeah.
hate it.
A lot of the times we're like, oh, hey, the niño. I'm like, baby's okay. Calm down. So it's hilarious to me. But I am the type of person where I don't sleep. I literally want to get a sleep apnea test because I have trouble sleeping.
No, Beverly doesn't
And-
sleep at all. She sleeps an hour and a half a day.
Yeah. So you should get a sleep apnea test yourself.
Maybe
She
too.
has insomnia. Really bad.
Yeah, you need to get a sleep apnea test. And I will wake up on the weekends. Like now, I work Saturdays, right? So Sunday's the only day that now I'm home. I let her sleep. If the baby wakes up, yo lo saco del cuarto. El grande se levanta igual que yo, se levanta a las 7 de la mañana, lo más tardar, a las 7 de la mañana parado. Papi, watch TV, can I play PlayStation? I get up with him, I get up with the little one, I let her sleep. Ella ha tenido días que se ha levantado a las 3 de la tarde. And I don't
Goals.
complain, I don't wake her up, I don't force her. Yo le hago desayuno.
Kenny, how old is your brother?
You're married.
Oh,
My
sorry.
brother just got married.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
brother
saw
just
that.
got
I saw
married.
the
Yeah.
wedding on TikTok. Just I
Yeah.
was just asking for friends that are trying to look for a partner.
Asking for a friend.
She's married,
So
guys.
that's just
Catrera.
I do the laundry in my house. No tenemos una lavadora secadora en la casa. So I go to the laundromat.
Yeah, me too.
I do the laundry, I fold it, I do everything. Y la separo también. Not only separarla para lavarla, separarla doblada. So your bata con tu bata, tu ropa de trabajo con tu ropa de trabajo, los gym clothes con los gym clothes, todo separado ahí en tu funda que tú la abres y sacas tu ropa nada más para guardar. I do that, and I do that because I enjoy doing that. I hate folding clothes. I don't mind washing them. I hate folding clothes, but I'm already at a stage where I put a show on my phone y comienzo a doblar y me quito de bulla y I don't really care. And I don't do that because that's another thing where you do stuff in a relationship just expecting, like, you know, something in return. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just doing this para que
There
tú
needs
me
to be
des esto y lo otro. Like,
reciprocated.
no. I do that because my mom raised me doing laundry, so it's just second nature to do laundry. I do laundry for my kids. and I don't feel any less of a man
Your
because
mom
I
is
do
the real
laundry for my
MVP.
family.
I feel like
So
you are more of a man because if you
Because
do all
of your
these.
mom.
No, and because of the things you do. Well, definitely your mom deserves a
Your mom
crazy
deserves,
prize.
yeah, a big prize.
yeah,
Because we don't see that.
We don't see that.
And
a lot.
that's
And
what-
Dominican men, are you kidding me?
Dominican
Our
men
age.
and then millennial on top of that. How privileged people are growing up to be. No, thank you.
Kudos to
exactly.
you. Kudos to your wife.
Yeah, she
future
is
wife.
a real. She's lucky.
And kudos to your mom.
Yeah,
for
and your
raising
kids.
a man
Yeah.
who's not a burden on anybody, who can hold his own, and who understands the importance of being in a relationship where y'all are each other's rock, where you help each other out, where it's not like you're the
She
woman.
literally
I
says
don't
that
care
to
how
me.
tired
She's like,
you
"You're
are.
my rock."
That's beautiful.
That's I love
Because
it.
that means you guys have a strong foundation that you guys continue to build
Cheers to your
upon.
fiance.
And I can't wait to go to New
Cheers,
York
cheers.
and just have dinner with her and you. And because you think we're kidding, but
En el verano,
somos
vengan,
loca.
we'll do a
And we will
barbecue in my house.
go. No, but like for real, like
No te
that's
apures
just
que Cintia, yo
beautiful.
te guardo par de ají
I was
Par
gonna
de
say,
ají, par-
no diga mule pollo
y
porque
par
se
de
ofende.
tomate.
Listen, ahí yo soy cara. Me gustan los camarones, el pescado, el pulpo, everything.
Yo soy un sicario haciendo salmón.
Ay, no.
No, but ya perdiste. She hates salmon. She loves seafood except salmon.
No hay problema.
I like salmon
no.
though. And
Te
I
igual-
love crab. but
Camarones,
that- Estoy diciendo
camarón.
soy cara.
Camarón y cangrejo. Mami es loca con el cangrejo.
Oh my God.
okay,
Me and your
mommy,
mom,
we'll
that's
be there
it.
this summer, mommy. And
Una jaivita con
I can
guineito.
eat, mommy. So I'm gonna bring my food stamps card because I can eat.
Dije, para que no hablen de mí, yo tengo mi tarjeta.
Que no hablen. Yo
El-
compro mi steak
el día
y
de
mis
hoy.
camarones, ¿ok?
A mí que me
No hay
brinden.
problema.
Yeah.
A mí que me brinden. No,
I,
mentira.
I'm very picky when it comes to steak. Like when it comes to bebida y comida, like I rather eat like good stuff. So like I
Period.
eat like I buy prime steaks.
Period.
So
My
yo compro un
Wagyu.
ribeye de
Hello.
$65. I don't know about no Wagyu. I don't got
Listen,
Wagyu
her
know.
money.
birthday dinners are like $500
I
meals.
do. My man be spoiling me. My man be spoiling me.
I don't go
Gracias a Dios
to
que la
those.
mía no tiene que ver con eso.
I know.
Like,
Y yo
have
como
a good
como un
time.
macho, muchacha. I don't be like, ay, una ensaladita. No, give me the biggest steak, potatoes, asparagus, give me all of that shit.
Normal.
Normal.
That's
Está
hilarious.
Y
bien.
después me tiro mi foto
Yeah.
con mi panza sucked in el espejo en el
Con tu-
restaurante.
con tu
como que
botón.
nada ha pasado.
Con el botón abierto.
No, I
Normal.
hide it. I hide it.
Explotándose.
Explotándome, but I hide it in the picture. Hay que ser inteligente, Kenny. ¿Qué pasó?
Yeah. La la
Kenny,
nieve.
thank
She
you
loves
so
pasta.
much. This has been so much fun. We've taken up enough of your time.
Too much of your time here.
Yeah,
Tell your
bueno,
wife I'm
de lo
sorry.
largo que este episodio, I think you're gonna have to do 3 times.
Probably.
Period. Cuando vine a ver.
Oh well.
Cuando vine a ver. We've talked a lot of shit.
Oh,
A lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. You are the third person to Tipsy and Truthful, I think. You belong right here in the middle.
We'll get you a chair.
but I mean,
Ay, mimita, mira. Empty space.
I honestly this is amazing and I appreciate your time, your wisdom, your point of view, and just everything. Like this has been
thank you.
amazing.
Yeah,
So
now I kind of ruined it for you ladies. I know it sucks.
ruined it.
Cause ahora cuando whenever you're gonna have a guest, you're gonna be like,
They're
that
not
was
Kenny.
okay. It wasn't like Kenny though.
He was all right.
Probably.
He's not no
He's
Kenny,
whack.
though.
It was all right.
Yeah.
No, you're right for real
You're
though.
right. You're right. I'm
Like
you're right.
we're not gonna hide it. That's one thing that we're learning to walk in our truth. And if you are not Kenny, you're not Kenny.
Hey,
That's
that's
it.
part of the that's part
That's
of the
not our
process.
fault.
Part of our healing journey. It's our truth. Okay? You're fine, but you're not Kenny. Like,
There you
Duh.
go.
Kenny, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for deciding to join us here,
Yeah.
for eating your pasgetti in between the episodes. We appreciate your time, your honesty, your rawness. Tell your wife we're sorry for
Thank
taking
you,
you away
thank
from
you.
the babies and her for all this time.
Yes.
Don't worry
We'll
about it.
owe-
don't worry
we'll
about
owe it to
Thank
you.
you guys.
Yes.
We'll make it up to you.
I'll buy you a
Yeah.
Wagyu in the summer.
Whoa.
There you go. Traeme un Wagyu de allá para acá.
Yeah.
Cuando venga y
Your
ya.
man
Se
will pay
olvida
for it. I'll
todo.
ask him for the money. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, thank you so much, Kenny.
Yo le guardo juca y de todo
Ay,
aquí.
Dios
I don't know
mío.
if you guys smoke hookah too.
Hell yeah.
You
we
think
smoke
we're
food.
kidding,
No.
but when you see that DM come through, don't ignore us just because
Kenny.
you've already been on the
Vamos
episode.
para allá. We're gonna be in.
Ni que, güey,
We're
vamos
gonna
la
be in the
semana que
Bronx.
viene para Nueva York. No me salte con cuentos.
We used to go there all the time. But anyways.
Yeah, I was thinking about I'll probably do my podcast too
Do
with
it.
like cigars and drinks. 'Cause
Oh
I
my
smoke
God. Are we
cigars
going to
and
be
I
like
smoke
your
hookah.
first
Can you be
guest?
Maybe not first. We're not famous.
Yeah,
yet.
oh, hey.
We'll be
Excuse
our
me.
sixth. You'll
La
be our
pongo a
sixth
fumar
guest.
cigarro aquí.
I'm sorry. Part of learning my boundaries is that we're a first or second. I don't know.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I got it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Kenny, for being here.
For the third time.
Yeah.
So thank you for getting tipsy with us.
Very tipsy. And for
Thank
keeping
you,
it
thank you.
truthful.
Salud.
Bye.
Salud.
Thank you, Kenny.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.